So, it's been a minute. We're in the December, which is sort of the kind of time of year where my consumption of media and entertainment comes to a crawl. More a matter of, after a year full of trying to squeeze in anything new, me just needing to hit my comfort space, my safe spaces for media and entertainment, my regulars that I go to. But that said, if you've been listening to Binge Buddies, there been some talk about what makes a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And I say that to say that there are very few good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, as will be evidenced by when you hear our wrap-up for Binge Buddies coming shortly. But in my mind, there is no template, right? I mean, they started with something, it fell apart, it turned to whatever the director or creators wanted it to be per movie. And my co-hosts, compatriots, friends, whatever assignment you want to put to them, disagreed. Had sort of a sense that they knew what a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre should be or could be. So in that spirit, I'm going to try to break down what I see as critical pieces as to what makes a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Number one, family. There has to be family. The couple of movies that focused on primarily Leatherface had okay things to them, but it missed the point. The whole point of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not Leatherface, it's the family and the grotesque, deranged things they do and the disgusting kind of people they are with this very gnarly personal life and perspective. This sort of remote boondock hick family that sees what they're doing is nothing wrong. It can be varying levels of deranged. I do think you need the fixture, the patriarchal fixture of Grandpa. As silly as that sounds, after the first couple movies, you think to that first movie, and it's a terrifying scene dragging that corpse out, where he is just sort of dropping the pin hammer on her head and not able to swing it the way it could. Number two, Leatherface is not a monster. He's a monster in the sense of what he does is monstrous. But in terms of demeanor and perspective, Leatherface is a stunted adult with very little actual intelligence, emotionally childish, and he does these things in utility, not as an expression of fun or entertainment. He doesn't chop people up and grind them up and cut them into meats and peel off their faces for fun. He cuts them apart for food. He's a scavenger. He's a butcher tearing these people apart for food. The mask thing is a weird fixation, almost like more mental illness kind of thing. You know, this weird obsession with putting someone's faces on them. Maybe it's a self-loathing thing. Maybe it's just a, I feel like I look better this way kind of thing. But it's a simplistic thing. It's not a place out of malice, out of despite how disgusting it is. And he is not Jason. He's not Michael Myers. He's not Freddy Krueger. He doesn't take pleasure in the kill. He just doesn't. First couple movies, it is somebody intruded in my house and I'm scared out of my mind. So in my fear, I'm going to fight back. The later movies are when it almost seems like an angry or gleeful kind of sensibility. A lot of revenge in one of the more later ones that it doesn't suit it well, but it's just sort of the way that he took it. 3, the final girl per se. They should not have the ability to really fight back. It should be a completely desperate bid for survival. I talked with the Leatherface movie, the last one, that I was kind of disappointed that they didn't win, or there was one survivor, but one of the sisters didn't make it, got chopped through with a chainsaw right at the very end, decapitated. But that was just for that one movie, and I was looking for that catharsis of seeing this franchise get turned on its head, where people fight and kill Leatherface. Because in that movie, he is a Jason-like character. But realistically, there should be little signs for hope when it comes to the survivors here. It should be one survivor. It should be everybody else who doesn't survive. They are disposed of in a gruesome but utilitarian way. So, you know, the chainsaws should be gruesome and choppy and rippy, not a lightsaber. It should be, when it is other kill methods, that it's very quick and snappy. Think about the first kill with the hammer in the first movie. Drop at the floor, he's shivering and shaking and twitching on the ground like somebody who would be knowing the motions of dying. Bombast is not what it should be. It should be grounded, heavy, and painful to watch, even if it's just that sort of snap quickness. I think there's room for humor in some of these. I think the second movie proved that. Now, that was a follow-up to the original and one through line of a story, so it may not be something you can really highlight in the same way that the second one was, but I think there's room for some levity and humor, especially when you're talking about the first group of people, the protagonists that you follow. There should be a little playfulness with that, I think. And then I think besides that, I think that's the most of it. I think if we can get to the point where it's grounded, it has the family as the monsters and not Leatherface specifically, that the survivors are mostly doomed going into it, I think that takes care of a lot of the different problems, besides just the idea of having a competent editor and knowing pacing in movies and having competent writing. But I think all these movies beyond the top couple, we're really missing that special sauce, that secret formula, that kind of template that the other Binge Buddies folks were looking for when they say that they didn't portray the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series the way they thought it should. Anyway, if you haven't already, make sure to listen to Binge Buddies or watch it on YouTube. I know that Brian and them have been pushing the YouTube channels, and I'm sure that I should also say like, subscribe, follow this channel, whatever. I don't care. I'm bored on the lunch break, and I'm just spitting thoughts. Anyway, take it easy.